Good morning, brave awakened ones. Lady V here, catching the sunrise, getting that energy, and bringing a message to you. Veronica of Higher Realm Holistics, empathic, medical, intuitive, certified integrative holistic health nurse, spiritual teacher and guide, Reiki master, energy healer. And by the way, no, that's not my boat. I wish it was. One day, maybe, because I love water. This is how I get around, okay? That's Bella right there. Hi, Bella. My little beach cruiser. That's how I get around town. Okay, so today's October 31st, 2018. And I've been trying since before 4 o'clock this morning to upload my November timeline update for Lightworkers. Still trying to upload, doing my best, okay? And like I said before, I'm not getting any notifications whatsoever when it comes to comments, none. So if you want to contact me and ask questions about sessions or ask questions about webinars or have a question or two to ask for yourself, go through my website. I have one of those quickie forms that you could just fill out. I get those, okay? They haven't been able to block those. So this is like a conjunct to the message that I'm still trying to upload right now for the umpteenth time. Okay, it's part of the big download I received over the weekend. And when I say download, it could be a big energy download, or it could be a, like for me, message download. I get big energy surges that triggers things, but when it comes to downloads, I get big energy message downloads. Like a huge chunk of energy comes down, and like I said, it's telepathically done. So putting it into words takes a while for me to unpack that. So it's coming out in drips and drabbles because I have to come out of my coma, basically. Okay, my eyes are wide open now, okay? I had to come out of my coma. So drips and drab, it's coming up, and it's connected to the webinars that I'm going to be doing because, as you know, we're at that stage, and Venus in retrograde is assisting of clearing off all these 3D relationships and hangers-oners and things that are hanging on to us that can't go with you. You know, they have to be released in order for you to start working with the 5D energies. Now, even though I've started working with 5D energies back in August, there's still a few things that were here in my home that needed to be cleared out by the time I got here. And they were. Venus did it for me. Like I said in my previous video, at the end, I talk about it, like the person I was subletting to. Cleared out by the time I got home. People who I thought I'd be hanging out with. Well, I'm like, yeah, when I come back from New York, I'll see you, I'll hang out. Gone. Try calling them. Some of their numbers don't work. Some of them don't even return texts. Got stood up a couple of times. Cleared out. Does it hurt? Hell yeah, it hurts. It hurts because you've known these people for many, many, many years. Could you catch up with them later? Could they catch up with you later, I should say? Yes. I have full faith in that because some of them were already on that path. They're already partially awakened. So I know darn well later on they'll catch up, right? Because my job as a light worker, your job as a light worker, my videos are very specific for light workers. Your job is to be the Sherpa and go ahead and blaze that trail. Okay, so that's the deal. Now this video is about 3D interferences with Lightworker Kundalini activations and how the Venus in retrograde energy is breaking down those 3D barriers in order for your Kundalini to rise. Okay, sorry, I keep looking down because how I am now when it comes to my thinking, and what I say, it's telepathic. It really is. I think like I'm thinking it and you're going to get it. So try to just listen with your heart That was another message I was given. I was like, how do I get them to understand when I'm having such a hard time getting it out word wise? And I was told to say, listen with your heart, not with your 3D brain. Listen with your heart. Okay? And see with your mind's eye. That's what I was told. See with your mind's eye and listen with your heart. That is what Jesus meant when he said you have to have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. It's not your 3D physical, okay? So when it comes to the 3D interferences with trying to hold down your Kundalini activation, that is what's going on with the chemtrails. That is what's going on with the 5D rollout. Not the 5D, 5G rollout. Notice how it matches up, right? 5G with all those towers you see going up. They're even hiding them in trees now, everywhere, especially at schools. I had such a disturbing look into a timeline right before I made this video, and my body wouldn't allow me to move until I finished seeing this. And it was so disturbing. And it was children, it was black children specifically, in a classroom, and just everyone just going bonkers, and little girls just crying and holding their heads and holding their ears, and just hearing the sounds going through, just penetrating through I saw the actual sounds penetrating through. And then I was taken out. I was started inside the classroom, seeing all that disturbance, and then drawn outside, and then standing right next to a cell tower, one of those 5G towers, and it was just pumping that energy in there to just shut them down, to shut down those kids' brains. And that's the deal. That's straight up the deal. Okay? And the reason why they're fighting so hard to have this stuff roll out so fast is to stop your Kundalini from rising. Because when that Kundalini rises, mine has already arisen. It's been arisen as a forerunner, as a light bearer forerunner. Okay? It's been up for years. It was very painful. Took a lot for me to go through. It was like literally, I was sitting in an electric chair every time I meditated. It was horrifying sometimes. It was not a smooth ride. There was a lot of barriers to break through. It was like breaking through concrete, bursting through concrete, because I needed to awaken. I needed to awaken fast, and I needed to awaken to who and what I was. That's why I was told that was happening to me. My soul star family had a lot to do with it. They would come and work with me and put me in a trance and work with me to help me break through those barriers, and like honestly to help me tolerate my Kundalini awakening. So those 3D, those interferences, those third dimensional interferences, has to do with all the heavy metals and the fluoride. All of that is meant to hold you down into 3D, to keep you in that ego conscious mind. Also using the that narcissistic energy to keep you held down in that narcissistic energy. And for those people who go on channels and want to be trolls, putting nasty comments, mean comments, trying to cause confusion, if something doesn't resonate with you, it simply doesn't resonate. But that's one thing. And also just doing it just to be nasty and mean and try to act like you're living out of your ego. And guess what? You're holding down your own ascension, your own awakening. Feel free to do that. I just push delete. It's as simple as that, okay? That's a you problem, not a me problem. So as our Kundalini arises, these 3D interferences that they have going on affect us less and less and less and less. And the Kali energy, the goddess Kali, her energy is here big time for us like I've announced before, I channel Kali energy. There's plenty of us out there who channel and ground the Kali energy. And she's the one cutting and breaking through that narcissistic 3D energy, breaking down that ego connected to the narcissistic energy. And please, I'm not trying to say the ego is a bad thing. The ego helps you survive in 3D. But in order for you to embody your higher self, the ego must quiet down. The ego must become less and less and less. So you get more and more and more of your higher self that comes into you. You embody more and more of that. And the more of your higher self you embody, the more 5D energy, the more you head into 5D, dealing with 5D, and you're going through that 4D portal. Okay? Most forebearers, forebearers, light bearers, forerunners, first wavers, we're already there. We've been dealing with the 5D energies. It took less of the event energies to trigger and awaken us. It took quite a bit, but it took less with the second wavers, the collective light workers. That's the way I used to put it. I put it because, people get hung up on saying second wavers. Oh, how about fourth, fifth, and sixth? I just group it into second. Either you're a forerunner or you're a second waver. That's the way I group it to keep it simple, okay? It's taking more of that energy to come in, event energy to come in to help trigger your Kundalini awakening, to break through all those 3D barriers, those constructs of belief, to break all that down, to get up to that pineal gland, to constantly be hitting that pineal gland. That's what all those headaches are about. That's what all the vertigo's about, decalcifying that pineal gland, totally decalcifying it. And when it's decalcified, that's when you start seeing things very differently. Like I said, the walls don't seem, I'm just looking right now. It's like you see slight movements, it goes like this. Yeah, the walls look like they're moving. Everything looks like it's moving. You see it, down to the molecular structure of things. It's very interesting. That's when you see the geometric shapes. That's when you see the sacred geometry, all that stuff. All that stuff's coming to you. But I also want to say, because one of my webinars is about helping you raise up that Kundalini. Here comes the sunrise. Raising up that Kundalini, it's not a party. It's not a picnic. When that Kundalini rises, you feel it. Okay? And the severity of it depends on how many structures it has to break down. How many barriers do you have up? You can go quietly. Now it's getting weird. You can see all the shapes on my face. You can go because of the sunrise. Look, sunrise. Can you see? Let's get to the sunrise. I don't know. Hope you could see that. Any which ways, let's get back to business. So depending on how many structures and barriers it has to break through. So, it's not a picnic, it's not a party, but it's necessary and it's welcoming. That's why I sat there and took it. So do you have the balls to do it? Okay? Do you have the balls to really step into your light workership, to allow that Kundalini to rise? Okay? It's up to you. It is a choice. You could fight it. You could stay with 3D energies. You could stay lost in the 4D construct. That is completely up to you. But I suggest you go with it. That is what you're here for. Allow that 3D self to go, let go of it, and allow your true self and who and what you're always meant to be to come in. You could always try it again at a different. Gaia won't be, Gaia, as you know her right now, she's changing. She's going into 5D, which is why we're here to help her along, help her beings, I should say, her children. That's why we're here as light workers, to anchor in that energy. But you could always end up in some other planetary system where you could experience this all over again. I have no intentions on doing that. None whatsoever. Let me see, make sure I covered everything. Yeah, and they are ways to protect yourself, because even though I'm working with 5D energies and those 3D barriers that they're throwing up don't affect me really at all. They don't. I was so straight up on my oversoul because I was concerned. I'm like, how about the cell towers? And this, and it's like, it goes on its radio waves, you understand? And if you're not tuned into that dial, it can't affect you. You don't hear them. That's what you have to understand. They're radio waves, they're radio frequencies, microwaves. You actually have to be operating on that mode for it to affect you. Does that mean you sit there you sleep with a cell phone underneath your head? No, that does not mean you sleep with a cell phone underneath your head. Okay, you take your basic precautions. It's not to say that I'm going to go stand in the middle of a highway because I'm operating on 5D energies and think I'm not going to get hit by a damn car. Okay, that's just plain stupid. You know, I take your basic precautions. And by the way, screens, metal, steel, and things like that, it's a great barrier. And I've seen it tested, and it prevents all those EMFs, you know, from all those smart meters and all those microwaves and radio waves, you know, from all those towers. It actually decreases a good 75%. And also organite. I love my organite. I sleep with it. Get some. I literally sleep with it. And my sister's making some, and I told her, make them for the whole family, which I've been dispersing them amongst my family. Another great thing to do is to gift the organites, to put them underneath by those cell towers to help other people out, you know, those who are on that frequency, those who are it's going to hurt. And if you notice, drive by, see where they're putting those cell towers. They're right on top of the schools, literally, especially in minority neighborhoods, literally right in front of the schools, on top of the schools. It's horrifying. So I'm going to start making some organite myself so I can go plant them by the schools. I've been trying to inconspicuously drop some around, but you know, it's like they have their eye on you. They know who you are. They can't hurt you when you're operating on a higher frequency because they can't reach up and get you. You can reach down and help the people down there, but they can't hurt you when you get to a certain point. So that's not my concern. So if anyone's interested in my webinars, please go to higherrealmholistics.com to register. And if you're interested in sessions with me, please go to higherrealmholistics.com. And like I said, it's coming out in drips and drabs, my big download. And the real big stuff I'm typing out because there's no way I could talk freely about it like this. It's too much. All right. Much love and light. Victory to light. Hang in there. Go with the flow and allow things to happen and listen. Listen to your oversoul. Quiet your mind and listen. Just sit there. Or if you can't sit, walk and ask your oversoul to talk to you. Ask Buddha or Jesus. Jesus is the one Yeshua, he's the one really connected to this ascension right now. And religion, like I said, Jesus was not a Christian. Religion has no bearing. He has no barriers when it comes to religion. Okay, so reach out to him, reach out to your angels, ask, and then listen to help get you through and allow these energies to work with you and through you. Okay, namaste. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Lady B, out. Victory to the light, the literal light. Peace.